Hey folks, back with another video. Let's dive into what stories got my attention today. Armenia and Azerbaijan have agreed to a limited ceasefire in their conflict over Nagorno-Karabakh territory. Now, these talks were held in Moscow between Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Russia as the mediator. Now, both countries' foreign ministers have agreed to a humanitarian ceasefire, which will begin at 12 midday on Saturday. And according to this limited ceasefire, the two countries will exchange the bodies of those who were killed and prisoners of war. Now, Russia's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov said that the International Committee of the Red Cross would mediate the exchanges, but admitted that the specific parameters of the ceasefire regime will be agreed upon additionally. Now, Nagorno-Karabakh is part of Azerbaijan, but it is populated and controlled by the ethnic Armenians who live in that region. And as it might be expected, that the success of the ceasefire would mark a victory, a major victory for the Kremlin, which has good relations with both countries, and as it's obvious that it is, let's just say, not particularly enthusiastic. In fact, it is reluctant to want to intervene militarily in this conflict. It is to be noted that Russia has a military base in Armenia and a mutual defense pact with the country, which of course does not extend to the Nagorno-Karabakh region. Now, one more thing that I think that a lot of people also point out in other ways is that while these two countries are fighting, there are additionally more countries who are involved in the form of supplying them with weapons or some kind of moral support. In the case of Turkey, which came out strong for Azerbaijan and also has supplied them with weapons, along with Israel, and Russia, which supplies weapons to both sides. Well, I just hope that they can come up with an agreement that can lead to the end of the fighting. Moving on, the Chinese have demanded that the US should stop its quote unquote provocative actions in the South China Sea after an American warship, a guided missile destroyer named USS John S. McCain, was spotted close to the disputed Paracel Islands on Friday. Now, Senior Colonel Zhang Nandong, who is also the command's spokesman, said in a statement that the PLA, the People's Liberation Army, had dispatched naval and aerial forces to track the destroyer and drive it away. He accused the warship of trespassing in China's territorial waters and has urged the US to control its naval and aerial operations in the area. Now, one thing that one must keep in mind is that the Paracel Islands have been occupied by China since 1974, but they are also claimed by Taiwan and Vietnam. So China's claim that US has gone into its territory is not, let's just say, not fully accurate. It is a disputed territory. In fact, adding to the US maneuvers is the fact that the Maritime Self-Defense Force conducted an anti-submarine drills in the South China Sea on Friday, deploying 3 vessels including a helicopter aircraft carrier and a submarine, according to the Japanese Defense Ministry. Now, the purpose of the exercise was to quote unquote boost their tactical ability, the ministry said in a statement. Now, the three vessels will stop at Cam Ranh Bay in Vietnam over the weekend to replenish its supplies. Now, China claims a large part of the South China Sea and has over the time established military outposts on artificial islands in the area. But South China Sea is claimed by Brunei, Malaysia, Philippines, and Taiwan, and Vietnam in various boundaries that actually overlap with each other. And so this is an area where multiple countries have problem also with China, but also with each other. Now, the Chinese Communist Party reacted to the Japanese maneuvers in the South China Sea as not conducive to the security and stability of the area. While the United States has accused China of militarizing the South China Sea and trying to intimidate Asian neighbors who might want to exploit the natural resources such as oil and gas from what they claim to be their territories. South China Sea is definitely a perfect sort of a flashpoint for any kind of war that might come out of this region. Just hope that there is enough people with cooler heads that can control over this before the hot heads take full control of the situation. Well, moving on, the Kyrgyz president Suranbay Jinbekov strengthened his grip on power on Saturday. He fired top Security Council officials who had either supported his opponents or failed to intervene, and in its or who had failed to intervene. Now, so far, his principal opponent, ex-president Almazbek Atambayev, was detained again just days after he was broken out of prison. Now, the State Security Service said it had detained Atambayev on charges of inciting unrest. Now, this ex-president is Jinbekov's former patron and now is his arch enemy. Now, the country's parliament, meanwhile, is struggling to gather a quorum to vote in a new government to end a power vacuum. Military checkpoints were put up overnight around the capital Bishkek after Jinbekov ordered troops to deploy and re-establish order. And so far in this chaos, more than 1,200 people have been injured and one person has been killed in street clashes. Now, I'm assuming that Kyrgyzstan is probably going to be in the news for some time, so I'll keep my eye on the news that comes out of Kyrgyzstan. And moving on, Pakistan has blocked the Chinese social media app TikTok. Now, Pakistan's telecommunication authority said that on Friday that it took this step after receiving complaints against quote unquote immoral and indecent content on the video sharing platform. Now, one must also keep in mind that Pakistan has close relations with China. But the telecommunication authority has said that it will keep its door open for the return of TikTok if TikTok develops a mechanism to moderate the content. Now, TikTok has been targeted by various other countries like India and US, but in the case of Pakistan, there had been several complaints and court petitions calling for its ban in Pakistan. Now, in taking the whole situation in one, it could be said that this move alone by Pakistan would not affect the relation between Beijing and Islamabad, and that it would take a lot more for the two countries' relationship to be, let's just say, get sour. But hopefully, we can come up with a a mutually beneficial sort of a new agreement with China, broadly speaking, due to other situation and not just this particular TikTok. Well, that's it for this video. If you liked the video, then hit that like button and hit that subscribe button for future updates. Write in the comments your thoughts, criticisms, and anything I might have missed. And I will see you in the next video.